Welcome, race fans, to another edition of American Dirt Track Racing. Tonight, we're back here at the beautiful Selinsgrove Speedway for their 1988 National Open. They did run another $10,000 to win race here earlier in the spring, but this is the big one. This is the one that Blaney won last year. Joining us in the tower tonight will be my friend and fellow colleague here, Ken Stahl, and doing the camera work again, Patty Strasser.
Well, it's good to be back here, John, at Selinsgrove. This race rained out a couple of weeks back, and tonight, ideal weather for the National Open here at Selinsgrove. As you said, Dave Blaney, the big winner last year over Doug Wolfgang and Steve Siegel. Tonight, Blaney not here, Wolfgang not here, Siegel, the only one of the top three in the pits.
Exactly right. Turning fast time tonight was Donnie Kreitz Jr. Buzzed around here, I think it was an 18:50. Did you pick up the time there, Ken?
18:56 was the official fast time.
I know it was 18:05 something. That's getting around quick, although it's not as quick as Joey Gravino's 17:80 that we saw here in the spring.
That was extremely quick, but the track has taken a lot of wear over the summer months and probably not as fast as it was back in the spring. Right now we've got the first heat on the Speedway, so do you want to take a look at the starting lineup?
Well, starting on the pole out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and the number 98 will be Brian Seidel, a driver that hasn't saw much action this year. And alongside him in the Camelot Country Restaurants will be the number 88 of Bobby Landis, who's having his problems in the pit area tonight.
Starting third from Taylor, New York will be the 14P of Bill Perry. And starting fourth on the outside of row number 2 in the number 5W, his own car, Randy Wolf.
Good to see Randy Wolf back in competition here in the Central Pennsylvania circuit. Starting in that 6th spot in the number 29, fresh with a victory at the Williams Grove National Open, Kenny Jacobs in that familiar red, white, and blue Weikert machine. And alongside him will be the number 7 up of Ed Schaefer.
Starting 7th in the field, scheduled to be moving back to row number 5, starting 9th, let's make it, will be the 77 of Brian Nornhold, and starting 10th, the 33 of Larry Solomon. Larry, a former modified driver.
Exactly right. Starting in that 11th spot, making up the final row, inside of the final row, will be the number 69S of Butch Schoaf, and right beside him in the number 1S will be Dave Stewart.
We're getting the one-lap sign from your starter, Charlie Page, on the flag stand, and I noticed that Bill Perry, who had a lot of problems during warm-ups and again in time trials, is missing from the starting lineup. So everyone from Bill Perry, who was scheduled to start third, has moved up one spot.
And we forgot to mention that Barry Camp also in the field. I missed his name in the lineup. He'll be starting 5th on the inside of row number 3. Jacobs is alongside of him. Then we had Schaefer, Walter, Nornhold, Solomon, Schoaf, and Stewart as they come to the Speedway here for heat race number 1, $10,000. The lion's share tonight. We'll
Kenny
see what
Jacobs,
happens.
14 grand last night, trying for a $25,000 weekend. First, he's got to qualify.
Trouble already. Looked like the number 63 of Phil Walter very much out of shape as they head to turn number 1 now. Bobby Landis quickly right on the rear bumper of our leader, Brian Seidel, as they head down the backstretch.
Randy Wolf pinching off Barry Camp as they race down the backstretch. Ken, there we've got a car upside down. Looks like Bob Landis in the number 88.
Very similar to what we saw in the crash at Williams Grove Speedway with the late Darrell Gone. Let's hope no serious injuries up there. He got in alongside the 98 car of Brian Seidel, and I don't know if he just had to lock the car up to keep from hitting Seidel, but it certainly backed into the fence hard up there in turn number 3. Let's hope that any injuries are minor in nature here.
And the radio report from 3 is that Bob Landis, who is still in the car, tells them that he is okay, but right now he is dazed. But his own words were that I'm okay, but right now, naturally, as we would expect after a quick flip over like that, the driver dazed.
Well, that's certainly good news on Bob Landis, who has had a tough year. Bob, things started out real well for him, but haven't turned out too well as the season went on. They've gone downhill, I would say, for Bob Landis.
Well, last year I think it's important that how you get started in a season. This last year they only ran one track for the most part. They did run Williams Grove some, but this year they've been trying to run Williams Grove Friday night and a combination of Port Royal and Selinsgrove on Saturday night, and then they've even traveled to Susquehanna Speedway on Sunday night. So I'm thinking now, of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but I'm thinking that possibly spread a little too thin this year. Maybe they just didn't have the finances to race 3 nights a week.
And this certainly a crash like this doesn't help anybody's finances out. Well, right now we have the red flag on the speedway, and I guess this would be a good time to take a break and come back with the resumption of heat number 1.
Well, we're back in here again at the Selinsgrove Speedway with the resumption after Bobby Landis's Camelot Country Restaurant's Bob Hobrick Trucking. Number 88 has been taken to the pit area on 2 wreckers. We're back under green as they come off turn number 4, and Brian Nornhold spins the number 77.
Well, we're having a hard time getting this first heat underway. Still no laps in the record book. This time Brian Nornhold brings out the caution.
Not nearly as severe consequences, of course, for Nornhold. We'll be back with take 3 in this, the first heat for tonight's National Open, sponsored by Blaze Alexander, Pontiac Buick Cadillac in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Back in here once again at the Selinsgrove Speedway for the 3rd attempt here and to get tonight's first heat race underway. First, Bobby Landis tags the 3rd turn fence. Brian Nornhold brings out the yellow. After a spin, we're back under green. We'll watch him off turn 4.
Nornhold proceeds to jump the field a little bit to number 77. And now we've got the green on the speedway once again. Brian Seidel, Randy Wolf, and Kenny Jacobs take him down the backstretch.
Randy Wolf motors right around the number 29 car. Right now, Randy Wolf's in control off of turn number 4.
Jacobs going after the runner-up spot. He gets it from Brian Seidel. And now Jacobs sets his sights on your leader, Randy Wolf, as we're officially underway with qualifying for the National Open. 1 lap in the record book.
Well, Randy Wolf certainly knows his way around the Selinsgrove Speedway, even though he's been absent for most of a year. Right now, though, Kenny Jacobs has the faster car and takes the lead.
A Buckley-built sprint car now for Bob Weichert. It's been very successful ever since they switched driver and chassis.
And also Davey Brown Jr. now back on the Weichert team, so a lot of changing around here. Keith Coffin in the Al Hamilton car now. We look at the rest of the field come by. Ed Schaefer, Brian Nornhold, Phil Walter. Up in turn number 4, Straggler headed for the pit area. That's the number 69, Butch Show. Off turn 4, it's still Kenny Jacobs, your leader.
Jacobs dominating this heat event. Randy Wolf runs 2nd, Barry Camp 3rd. Brian Seidel out in the qualifying order. They're only going to take 3 out of the heat races.
Now, those are the big 3 right now. Kenny Jacobs, Randy Wolf, and Barry Camp. Not much racing up front, that's for sure, as Kenny Jacobs has the number 29. At full speed as he heads down the backstretch now.
Field really strung out right now, and it's all Kenny Jacobs in the Weichert's number 29. This is lap number 6, 1 beyond the halfway point. Looks like an easy win for Jacobs.
Randy Wolf now beginning to give way to Barry Camp here a little bit. Camp beginning to close it up on Randy Wolf as they head down the backstretch.
There is the battle that really counts on the speedway. Randy Wolf running 2nd and Barry Camp 3rd. They both qualify, and it really doesn't matter at all, as a matter of fact, where they qualify as long as they're in the top 3.
And right now, Barry Camp putting heavy pressure on Randy Wolf, and he takes over that 2nd spot as they head down the backstretch.
We're already going to get the 2-lap sign on your leader, Kenny Jacobs, as he goes by, and right now Randy Wolf out of shape momentarily, straightens it back out, but he's losing ground.
We're watching the number 29 of Kenny Jacobs. That car looks like it's on rails, Ken. Really getting around here well tonight.
What a difference getting the big team back together. Davey Brown Jr. and Sr. both working again for Weichert, and the car looks like itself again.
Taking the white flag and be looking for the checkered flag next time around on Kenny Jacobs in that Weichert Livestock number 29.
He's going to win this one going away as he's right now lapping cars off turn 4. Here he comes, your winner of Heat 1, Kenny Jacobs.
Jacobs takes the win, finishing in that 2nd spot will be the 14 of veteran Barry Camp. Finishing 3rd is the 5W of Randy Wolf. Taking the 4th spot is the number 98 of Brian Seidel. Ed Schaefer will finish 5th. 6th will go to the 77 of Brian Nornhold. And 7th goes to the number 63 of Phil Walter. You know, Ken, I was just thinking, I don't know if the Davy Brown team per se really can work without having both the Browns. It seems like when there's only one Brown, it's not enough Brown. You got to have them both. I really don't know why that is, but it seems like you got to have them both.
And, of course, Jimmy Sills, who drove the car unsuccessfully, I would have to say, throughout the 1988 season. Not a lot of wins, and certainly not up to the standards that Bob Weichert expected.
Well, that's for sure, and we'll be back with heat race number 2. Back in here once again at the Selinsgrove Speedway with heat race number 2. We'll get down over the starting lineup quickly. Starting on the poles, the 3 of Charlie Massey, and alongside him is the 86 of Kramer Williamson.
Starting in the third spot, we have the number 80 of Bobby Parrow. He's followed by the 3H of Rocky Hodges.
Then we got Johnny Mackison, Joey Allen, Roger Moyer Sr., Jerry Stone, Alan Cole, Bobby Murphy, and Joe Gravino, who was scheduled but is also scratched for the night.
Well, it's going to be Kramer Williamson first out of the block in the number 86, the ICP car. Kramer looked real good in this car at Port Royal on several occasions this season. Right now he leads lap 1.
Rocky Hodges now moving up to try and take over that second spot, and he does from Charlie Massey. So Massey in the Ford drops to third.
Right now a lot of cars charging up through the field. Joey Allen driving a really peculiar looking sprint car out there. The A1 has a Carl Haars hood on it. I'm not sure what else, but Joey Allen qualified real quick here tonight. 8th fastest qualifier, and right now he's trying to get a qualifying spot.
He and Johnny Mackison along with Charlie Massey all battling over that third spot. Now Allen goes around the outside. Allen now will move up into actually 4th position.
Kramer Williamson, your leader. Second is Rocky Hodges. Third, Bobby Parrow. Joey Allen runs for it. 5th is the number 3 car. And right behind him, Johnny Mackison.
Roger Moyer Sr. along with Jerry Stone and Bobby Murphy and Alan Cole rounding out the field. The battle is for second as they come to the flag stand.
Rocky Hodges and Bobby Parrow battling out for the runner-up spot. And Joey Allen will try and close it up on those two as we have a car spun over on turn 4.
Yellow flag is out. I believe Alan Cole in car number 17, possibly. Cannot find him on the speedway. Alan Cole in car number 17C. A former go-kart campaigner, moved right up into the sprint car division, as we see a lot of drivers do nowadays. And Alan Cole having a little problem here tonight. But Kramer Williamson looks tough in the ICP Crown number 86. We'll be back with the restart.
Hospitalized, intensive care, cardiac care unit, Harrisburg Polyclinic, and Harrisburg, send him a card. We got to do it, fam.
Well, we're back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway, and we've got green flag. And we're watching Kramer Williamson in the ICP number 86.
And 4 cars go into a battle for that third qualifying spot. Johnny Mackison gets out of it quickly in the 65. He gets around Joey Allen and Bobby Parrow into a qualifying spot.
So Mackison on the move in the Michael Barshinger contractor number 65. Here comes Kramer Williamson now. He looks like he has him covered.
Halfway on Kramer Williamson, Rocky Hodges, Johnny Mackison, and right now Joey Allen runs forward.
Down the backstretch now, we're watching the number 3 of Rocky Hodges. This car driven by Chuck Ward. Most of the time, right now, Rocky Hodges at the helm and running in that second spot.
That car won a lot of races here last year with Chuck Ward as the driver. Car actually owned by Chuck Ward's father and driven by Rocky Hodges.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody's going to reel in the number 86 now of Kramer Williamson, the Clark Barger ICP number 86 car.
Right now, Kramer looking very strong in the team race. Johnny Mackison closing up a bit on Rocky Hodges as they head down the backstretch. Joey Allen and Bobby Parrow right there. Kramer with a safe lead as he works his way off turn 4. There'll be 2 to go, but things really bunching for second.
A good battle for that second spot as they come to the flag stand. Rocky Hodges and Johnny Mackison. Mackison Down on the inside of Hodges. I don't know. Mackinson might be able to take him.
And Joey Allen also right there trying to get a final qualifying spot. Allen going high into 3 and 4. Now tries the outside of Mackinson.
Joey Allen going around the high groove now, but Mackinson hanging tough.
There's Joey. They're side by side down the backstretch, and we could have, and we will have, as Allen goes right up after Hodges, a last lap pass for a qualifying spot by Joey Allen.
Kramer Williamson takes the checkered flag. He'll pick up the win in that Kurt Waters wrenched ICP number 86. Rocky Hodges will take second. Joey Allen, very impressive on the final lap. Motors right around Johnny Mackinson to take that final qualifying spot and finish third. And we had Mackinson finishing in the 4th spot. I think it was Jerry Stone on back, Charlie Massey, Roger Moyer Sr., Alan Cole, and Bobby Murphy, and those guys will all transfer to the C main or B main. Lots of racing on tap here tonight. We'll be back with heat race number 3. Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway for heat race number 3. We've got Dave Reichert, Roger Moyer, Todd Schaefer, Kevin Fry, and Jim Nace.
Along with also in the field, Jesse Wentz. And we've got Jerry Robinson in there, Steve DaCosta, Don Sesko. Scotty Hawes scratched from this event.
Oh, a lot of cars not showing up here for heat race number 3. Right now, Dave Reichert with the lead. Kevin Fry runs second. Roger Moyer Jr. runs third. We got a battle for the lead off turn number 4, and here comes Kevin Fry on the inside.
Dave Reichert right now is your leader as we complete lap number 1. Frenchie Grimes, another driver scheduled for this one that didn't come out. But right now up front, Dave Reichert and the Reichert Lumber number 6 is your leader.
Reichert looks impressive here so far as he holds off Kevin Fry off turn 4.
2 in the record book on Dave Reichert, Kevin Fry, Jim Nace, and running 4th is Roger Moyer. Todd Schaefer right now runs 5th.
Todd certainly not on the pace. Something evidently wrong with the Tuscarora machine tonight. But you got to be impressed with Dave Reichert, Ken.
Very impressed. Reichert right now holding off Kevin Fry, who had, I know, at least one second-place finish here at Selinsgrove.
Yeah, Kevin Fry driving that Keyhand Sprinter out of Chambersburg. Fry actually won a feature here at Selinsgrove this year. Right now, they're side by side down the backstretch. Kevin Fry now takes the lead, but Reichert still rides strong in that second spot. Jim Nace runs third.
Nace closing fast as we got the halfway sign on your new leader, Kevin Fry.
Looking off at turn number 4 now. Todd Schaefer goes by along with Jerry Robinson. I don't see Jesse Wentz anywhere. He must have had problems.
A quick dropout for Jesse Wentz, who had the big night last night at Williamsgrove. Nace gets around Reichert for second.
Nace now up the second, and he goes after Kevin Fry down here in turns 1 and 2. Well, it looks like Reichert's going to make the show here. They're only taking 3, and it's got to be tough on a night like tonight.
Barring any problems or caution periods here in the last couple of laps, Reichert will qualify. He's got a big lead on the 4th place, Roger Moyer.
Kevin Fry running real strong here tonight again at Selinsgrove. This team has really started to gel here in the late 1988 season.
Having a real super time of things with the GTE sponsorship, and 2 to go on Kevin Fry.
There you see him off at turn number 2 and head down that long backstretch now. They'll be looking for the white flag off turn number 4 this time. 1 more lap to go on Kevin Fry.
Fry now dealing with lap traffic as he comes off of turn 4 on the white flag lap. Nace safely in the second spot. Third is going to be Dave Reichert with 1 to go.
Riding distant 4th place now, Roger Moyer Jr. along with Todd Schaefer. Has to be a disappointing ride for Todd.
Todd started up in a top 3 position, but he's not going to make it. Checkered flag out for your winner, Kevin Fry.
Jim Nace will nail down second. Finishing third is Dave Reichert on a great job by Reichert. Roger Moyer Jr. not quite making it, but he'll take the 4th spot. 5th will go to Todd Schaefer. 6th will go to Jerry Robinson. 7th will go to Steve DaCosta. And I believe 8th is going to go to Don Susko in the 5X.
So Kevin Fry picks up the heat win in heat race number 3. We've got one more heat before we go to the C and the B main.
19.80 hundredths of a second. Kevin Fry winning over the Camel Express.
Back in here for heat race number 3. I'm Johnny Strasser along with Ken Stahl joining us here in the tower tonight. Always a pleasure to work with Ken and have him out here at Selinsgrove with us. Starting on the pole in car number 14T will be Troy Camp, one of the many second-generation drivers here at Selinsgrove. And alongside him, one of the rookie sprint car drivers in 1988 to 75 of Bobby Strasser.
A couple of York County drivers started in row number 3, the 51 of Carl Baker on the inside, and outside of him from Dover, the 69 of Chuck Reiner.
Starting in that 5th spot will be the 7TW. This car driven by Joe Gertie tonight. And alongside him in the Busch Beer number 2 will be Steve Siegel.
Row 4 inside, starting in the 7th spot. Driving the number 58 from Reading will be Tom Warner, and starting 8th from right here in Selinsgrove, the 18R of Rick Romig.
Starting in that 9th spot inside of row number 5, the veteran Bud Mills in car number 89, and right beside him another longtime campaigner here at Selinsgrove, the number 104 of B.J. Stewart.
And starting scratch on the field in the Frank Smith Garage, number 1S, driving out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Had problems in warm-ups and problems in time trials. George Ferguson Jr.
George Ferguson Jr. Has won a lot of races in his career. He's going to have his work cut out for him tonight as we get green flag on heat race number 4.
Bobby Strasser takes him into turn number 1. Troy Camp runs second. Chuck Reiner, Steve Siegel, they're all battling it out as they head down the backstretch. Carl Baker's right there along with Joe Gertie.
Couple of rookie drivers leading the parade right now. Troy Camp chasing Bobby Strasser off of turn number 4.
Troy running the inside of the speedway, trying to get around Bobby Strasser for the lead. Camp much improved over what I've seen him earlier in the season.
Camp really only raced just this season, so both these drivers, 1988 sprint car rookies.
And Troy Camp gets around Bobby Strasser to take over the lead. Camp up front now. Strasser back to second. Steve Siegel runs third, and he's going to zero in, I think, on your top 2.
Steve Siegel now on the move. He got around Chuck Reiner, and Strasser spins the number 75, and he gets hit by the 7TW of Joe Gertie. I talk about bad luck. Strasser has probably crashed the car 90% of the time. He just seems to find the wrecks. There he lost the handle basically on his own, but he did a great job in getting it around. I don't think he had any serious damage until Joe Gertie arrived on the scene.
And now he probably has a lot of damage, and that's a shame for a good candidate for Rookie of the Year honors at Port Royal Speedway, Bobby Strasser in car number 75.
Well, we still have the Selinsgrove candidate for Rookie of the Year, Troy Camp, leading the parade over Steve Siegel and Chuck Reiner. We'll be back with the restart. Well, Donnie Kreitz just drew the pill for the 6-car invert tonight. He set fast time and drew a number 6. So he'll go 6th. He couldn't have done any worse, really, Ken. He ought to be in the top fast 6.
Well, we're back to green flag racing here in heat race number 4. The final of the 4 heat races, and right now it is still Troy Camp, your leader. Running second, Steve Siegel. Chuck Reiner is third. And Joe Gertie, after getting together with Bobby Strasser, apparently no serious damage. He's racing 4th and trying to get after a final qualifying spot. Well,
we're losing the number 1S of George Ferguson, so their problems continue to plague that team. There you see Carl Baker as he watches Joe Gertie drive away from him now in turn 3. We may get a good battle for the lead here momentarily.
Steve Siegel right with Troy Camp, but so far it's been Troy Camp able to hold off Steve Siegel. So the youngster, second generation driver, trying to pick up a heat win, and right now he's doing the job, holding off Steve Siegel.
Troy Camp looks real good here in this heat race as he hangs on one more time, and we'll see what happens. And right there, that's the true mark of a rookie driver, Ken.
Yeah, Siegel went right by him. Camp threw it in hard, and that was all it took, as Siegel went right by.
But nonetheless, Troy Camp doing a great job out there as he rides second. Riding in that third spot is the number 69 of Chuck Reinert. Reinert, a former winner here at Selinsgrove, way back in, I believe it was March.
Back when the snow was flying that night, I believe. And old Chuck did win a race a couple of weeks ago at Susquehanna, but it's been a long year since that early season win.
Chuck Reiner riding third right now in a qualifying spot. There goes the number 7 TW of Joe Gertie. All I can say is Gertie really got off lucky here tonight so far.
Yeah, Gertie's the kind of driver that never really impresses you a lot, but he seems to get the job done. Somehow, some way, he always ends up at the top of the all-star point.
Right now I'm watching Steve Siegel as he comes off of turn number 2. Siegel really had things cooking here last year right around this time, and he looks like he's also cooking again tonight.
Right now he's going to get the white flag from Charlie Page, so we're coming to the end of this heat race. And right now it looks like Steve Siegel easily over Troy Camp.
Now Troy Camp, nonetheless, is going to turn in a nice ride here, finishing in that second spot. Off turn number 4, it's Steve Siegel in the Busch Beer, number 2.
Siegel the easy winner. Second will be Troy Camp, and qualifying third, Chuck Reinert in the 69. Joe Gertie will have to go to the B main.
Along with Carl Baker, the number 58 of Tom Warner, B.J. Stewart also, and Bud Mills. They'll all transfer now to the B main or C main. But Siegel fast again here at Selinsgrove, and I'm sure there's a lot of jubilation in the Troy Camp pit area right about now. He makes it in. So some of the underdogs, you could say, running strong here tonight at Selinsgrove. We'll be back with more racing action here at the Selinsgrove Speedway. Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway, I'm Johnny Strasser along with Ken Stahl. We're at the B main juncture in tonight's event. We'll get down over the starting lineup. Starting on the pole out of Allentown will be the number 98 of Brian Seidel, and alongside him in car number 65 will be Johnny Magnuson Jr.
Third starting spot will be the number 1M Junior of Roger Moyer Jr., and starting fourth, scheduled to go but scratched, the 7 TW of Joe Gertie.
Starting in that fifth spot will be the 7-up of Ed Schaefer, and starting in that sixth spot will be the number 80 of Bobby Parrow.
Scheduled to start in the 7th spot, the 11 of Todd Schaefer, and 8th, the 51 of Carl Baker.
Starting ninth will be the 77 of Brian Nornhold, and alongside him in that 10th spot will be the 25 of Jerry Stone.
The 11th starting spot will go to the number 83 of Jerry Robinson, and 12th will be the 58 of Tom Warner.
Starting 13th will be the number 63 of Phil Walter, and 14th will be the number 3 of Charlie Massey.
15th starting spot scheduled to go but scratched to 07 of Steve DaCosta, and starting 16th, the 89 of Bud Mills.
Starting in that 17th spot will be the 33 of Larry Solomon, the small block modified driver, and alongside him in car number 1M will be Roger Moyer Sr.
Moving back to the 17th, or check out the 19th starting spot, we have the 5X of Don Sesko, and starting 20th, the 104 of B.J. Stewart.
Starting 21st in car number 81 will be Bobby Murphy, and starting 22nd, a big surprise to me, and I'm sure a lot of fans here tonight after seeing what he went through in heat race number 1 tonight, the number 88 of Bobby Landis.
And starting at the back of this field in car number 17, we have Alan Cole and the 1S of George Ferguson Jr.
So that's your starting field for this, the B main. Last chance to make it into tonight's $10,000 to win Selinsgrove Speedway 1988 National Open.
And the BZ Motors pace car is off of the speedway on the backstretch. Charlie Page has things at his hands right now as Charlie will look him over. If he likes what he sees, we'll get the green on the B main. The last chance, only 6 qualify.
And we'll watch them. Green flag waves, and we're off and underway. Off turn number 4. We'll watch them. Your leader will be the number 98 of Ryan Seidel.
A lot of good cars starting back in the field are going to have to work. And right now, Bob Landis just picked off about 7, maybe 8 cars already in car number 88.
Going after Charlie Massey right now down in turn number 3. The number 63 of Phil Walter with a wing problem off turn 4. Your leader continues to be Brian Seidel.
Seidel leads Johnny Mackison, who runs second. Third is Ed Schaefer. Fourth, Roger Moyer. Fifth, Bobby Parrow. And qualifying right now, Carl Baker.
A lot of good drivers trying to make it into tonight's A main. Bobby Landis continues to work his way through the field, but he's still got a long way to go. Mackison trying to hold off Ed Schaefer. We got a yellow.
One car at least spinning up here on turn 4. Could have been a lot worse, as I've seen a lot of guys having to alter their groove in order to avoid that spinning car.
Well, Bobby Strasser and Bobby Murphy, car number 75 and car number 81, I think got tangled up there, and it looked like Strasser was able to keep on going along with Murphy, but there was some extracurricular activity going on up there in turns 3 and 4. Right there you see Johnny Mackison. He ducks into the pit area off of turn number 4, so a tough break for Mackison, who was running in that second spot.
And Strasser and Phil Walter both go into the pit area. And that actually, I think that's Todd Schaefer who has ducked into the pit area in car number 11. So Schaefer, who had a qualifying spot, has ducked in.
So right now, as it stands, we have the number 98, Brian Seidel, your leader. Ed Schaefer runs second. Roger Moyer Jr. runs third. Bobby Parrow fourth. Carl Baker fifth. Brian Nornhold sixth. Jerry Stone seventh. Can't quite pick up the number on the next car back, but then we would have
Tom Warner, I believe it is.
Tom Warner in the 58, followed by the 33 of Solomon, the 3 of Massey, and the 88 of Landis. Then it's Jerry Robinson, Alan Cole, Roger Moyer Sr., Bud Mills. We'll be back with the resumption in this, the B main. Back in here now at the Selinsgrove Speedway for this, the restart in the B main. 6 will qualify. Right now that would be Brian Nornhold in car number 77. He is your 6th place runner. Green flag back on the speedway, and Brian Seidel continues to lead.
Ed Schaefer, and now 2 drivers at the back of this pack, Todd Schaefer and Phil Walter, are really going to have to work if they want to get a qualifying spot for the National Open.
Off turn 4, it's still Brian Seidel, your leader, as they come down to complete yet another lap. Ed Schaefer runs second, Bobby Parrow third, followed by the number 1 of Roger Moyer Jr.
Bobby Landis continuing to move up through the field. He's right now getting around the Scott Sanfuso car of Charlie Massey. So Landis continuing his assault on the qualifying order.
Down the backstretch, Brian Seidel continues to lead. Good battle for that 4th spot right now, as Nornhold is advancing in the field. Up to 4th now. Nornhold running 4th. Roger Moyer Jr. runs 5th.
Brian Seidel continues to lead. Bobby Parrow has now taken over the runner-up spot. Parrow in car number 80 up to 2nd. Ed Schaefer back to 3rd. Brian Nornhold, Roger Moyer Jr., and Carl Baker right now. Those 6 cars will go to the National Open.
Off turn 4, it's still Brian Seidel in the number 98, followed by Bobby Parrow, Ed Schaefer, and Brian Nornhold. Landis continues to try and work his way up. Right in behind the number 25 now, Jerry Stone.
Bobby Landis needs to make 3 passes. Here comes one of them. He gets around Jerry Stone. So Landis only has to get 2 more cars and he's in. And right now, he's got a shot.
Landis continues to work away at it. And now he's got Warner. Landis Landis gets up behind and goes around Tom Warner. He's got to get by one more car.
Oh, we got two cars going out over the fence.
Turn number 3.
Your lead two cars both went out over the fence.
So
Brian Seidel in car number 98, who was leading the event, and Bobby Parrow, who was running second, together as a team went out over the third turn fence.
I don't know why they went out there. There's nothing out there but grass.
Well, maybe, I hate to speculate, but obviously they got together. I think our camera lady was right on the action, so I'm sure that you people that were watching the monitor got a real good look at it. I was looking elsewhere, and I just happened to catch the two cars as a team going out over.
Incredible. And just as we were saying, Landis needs another spot to make it. He gets it, So both drivers okay. Not trying to make fun of the situation, because it's not a funny situation, but a couple of weeks ago at the Tuscarora 50, Jimmy Sills launched the number 29, or make that Ricky Hood, launched the number 29 car, and it was reported that Bob Weichert simply asked him why he wanted to go out over the second turn fence. He said, Rick, there's nothing out there but trees. I've been out there. It was Rick's first visit to Port Royal, too.
Well, maybe he wanted to see what the fair had to offer outside of turn 2. Who knows? There's no fair outside of turn 3 tonight, that's for sure. And what a tough break, because they were both going to qualify, and now I'm sure they're out for the night.
Tough break. Boy, I tell you what, Landis, though, is going to probably make it here. The first car officially out of the action tonight with a crash in turn 3 in the first heat. And now it looks like he might make it. We'll be back with the restart. Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway, following a pretty lengthy delay. We're going to watch what happens up in turns 3 and 4. We got green flag.
A little bit of jumping going on back in the pack, but apparently the green is out. And Schaefer takes over the lead. After your two leaders went out over the fence, Schaefer now leading.
Landis now regains that 6th spot right now. Make that the 5th spot as he gets around Tom Warner. And he's closing in on Carl Baker, and he goes by Baker.
Landis, one of the fastest cars out there right now, as he has moved the 88 up into the 4th spot on the speedway.
Landis started on the rear and is now running 4th. So maybe hitting the fence done that car some good.
And he's actually right now on the move trying to take over 3rd. So Bob Landis running strong here in the B main.
There you see the interval between 3rd and 4th now, as Landis goes to work on Roger Moyer Jr. But your leader is Ed Schaefer, and this has to be a high mark in his season.
Schaefer right now leading the way in the 7-up. Ryan Nornhold runs 2nd. 3rd is Roger Moyer Jr. 4th, Bobby Landis, Carl Baker. And right now your final qualifier is Tom Warner.
Off turn 4, Ed Schaefer in the Alexander 7-up. Number 7 car continues to lead. The number 77 car, Brian Nornhold. There you see Roger Moyer Jr. and Bobby Landis. Landis getting off the corners real well tonight.
A disappointing night for Todd Schaefer, who right now is out of the qualifying order as we watch Bob Landis try to get that 3rd spot.
Closest battle on the speedway right now as we watch them. Landis and the number 1M. Junior of Roger Moyer Jr.
We'll get the 2-lap sign this time on the Cherry 7-up of Ed Schaefer.
And Landis just dropped out. Landis dropping off the pace off turn 4.
But now he's going again. Well, almost up to full speed. In fact, he is. So a good break for Bob Landis, and he was able to get that car, but he's still having problems. Apparently jumping out of gear on him.
Something wrong with that race car. Tough break for Landis. All the way from the back to the front to the back again.
He's still up back at racing speed, but I don't think he's going to be able to qualify as he just lost too much ground. checkered flag, and it's coming out for the Jerry 7-Up of Ed Schaefer. Qualifying second is Brian Nornhold. Third, the 1M junior of Roger Moyer Jr. Carl Baker qualifies fourth. Tom Warner fifth. And your final qualifier is Jerry Stone. I don't know whether Bob Landis ran out of fuel or whether that car just kept jumping out of gear.
I don't know. It was definitely shutting off. Would run and then it wouldn't run. And earlier tonight, they had some kind of problem in the oil pan with that car because it was blowing oil out profusely. And they thought maybe they had a scavenging problem with the oil pump. But they seemed to get that remedy. And then they hit the fence, and it looks like he's out for the night. Somehow or other, they repaired that car. He starts on the rear of the B, comes all the way to third or fourth, and then he drops out with 1 lap to go. Tough break. So I'm sure Bob's trying to figure that thing out right now, and we'll take a short little break. They have already drawn for starting positions. They will be inverting the top 6. That puts your fast man, Donnie Kreitz, 6th in the field tonight, and we'll be back with the starting lineup of tonight's National Open. Well, we're back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway. I'm Johnny Strasser along with Ken Stahl, and we're going to go down over the starting lineup. Starting on the pole tonight's National Open here, 1988. In car number 19 will be Stevie Smith. Starting in that second spot in the Al Hamilton, or check that, the Bob Federer Ford-powered number 77 will be Frankie Kerr. So 2 powerhouses right up front. Stevie Smith, who led the National Open, looked like a sure winner, and Frankie Kerr, who also had a top 5 finish down there.
Row number 2 inside, starting third in the Al Hamilton GMC number 77 will be Keith Kaufman, and the Bills Auto Sales number 3K of Lenny Krautheim will start fourth on the outside of row 2.
Starting in that 5th spot in the Carl Haars number 88 will be Kenny Adams, Mr. Consistency this year. And alongside him, your fast qualifier tonight in the Kreitz number 69K will be Donnie Kreitz Jr.
Starting 7th on the inside of row number 4, the winner of the National Open last night at Williams-Grove in the Bob Weicker 29 will be Kenny Jacobs. And starting 8th on the outside of row 4 in the ICP, number 86 will be Kramer Williamson.
Starting in that 9th spot in car number 97 out of Chambersburg will be Kevin Fry. And right beside him in the Busch Beer number 2 will be Steve Sigel.
Row number 6 inside, starting 11th will be the number 14 of Barry Camp. And starting 12th on the outside of row 6 in the 3, Rocky Hodges.
Starting 13th in car number 26 will be Jim Nason. Starting 14th in the 14T will be Troy Camp.
15th starting spot on the inside of row number 8 will be the 5W of Randy Wolf. And starting 16th on the outside of row 8 in the A1 will be Joey Allen.
Okay, dropping back now to row number 9 on the inside. In car number 6 will be Dave Reichert. And alongside him in the number 69 will be Chuck Reinert.
Following Reinert in the lineup, starting 19th, the winner of the B-Main, the 7-Up of Ed Schaefer. And starting 20th in the 77N will be Brian Nornhold.
And the rest of the field consists of Roger Moyer Jr., Carl Baker, Tom Warner, and Jerry Stone. The field set here for 40 laps. $10,000 to the winner, and the only sad thing is that Ken has to leave here. Another commitment at 10:15. It's now 10:14, so Ken, hang in there as long as you can. We're getting green flag.
Well, we'll stick in here and watch this one get off and underway as they come off of turn 4, and Stevie Smith gets the lead away from Frankie Kerr.
They thunder through turns 1 and 2 now. An entourage of horsepower as they head down the backstretch. Stevie Smith Jr., your leader.
Well, that may have been the race. Stevie Smith getting the lead away from Frankie Kerr. Keith Kaufman into the runner-up spot and ready to challenge.
Frankie Kerr rides in that 3rd spot, followed by the number 3 of Lenny Krautheim. Then it's Donnie Kreitz, Kenny Adams, and here comes the number 29 of Kenny Jacobs now. Jacobs moves up.
Jacobs got a slow start, but he got right around Kenny Adams. Up front, it's still Stevie Smith and Keith Kaufman.
There you see the number 69 of Donnie crates in the 29 of Kenny Jacobs as they do battle, but Kaufman now has heavy pressure on Stevie Jr.
Kaufman inside of Stevie as they come down the front stretch. Do we have a lead change?
Keith Kaufman now in the Al Hamilton GMC number 77. He takes the lead as they head down and into turn number 3.
So what a surprise. Keith Kaufman was never fared that great here at Selinsgrove, taking the lead away from Stevie Smith.
Kaufman looks strong here in the early going, but don't forget about the number 77 of Frankie Kerr, and keep your eye on that 29.
Well, Kenny Jacobs is working the top of the speedway where everybody else is running low. Jacobs passing cars at will right now.
Off turn 4, Keith Kaufman continues to lead. The number 19 of Stevie Smith. Here comes the number 77 of Frankie Kerr, followed by Lenny Krautheim and Kenny Jacobs.
Here comes Jacobs again on the outside of Krautheim off turn 2. He picks off another spot.
Kenny Jacobs now on the move, and he'll go after the 77 of Frankie Kerr. All eyes now on Keith Kaufman and that Al Hamilton, number 77.
It won't be long now though. Kaufman's going to catch the back of this pack in that car number 77, and that may change the complexion of the race. Kaufman already ready to lap cars.
That's possible, but you know, Kaufman's very good in lap traffic.
It could also help Kaufman with Stevie Smith dropping further and further back.
Kaufman now looking at the first car to go a lap down. Will be the number 61 of Carl Baker. Kaufman works the inside of the speedway as they head to turn 3.
You have to wonder how long the tires are going to last on Kenny Jacobs' car. He is really running hard, and he's running high on the speedway, where most of the other cars are running down low.
Kaufman now gets by the number 6 of Dave Reichert. He'll go after Ed Schaefer. Stevie Jr. trying to hang with Keith Kaufman here.
Your top 4 really starting to bunch as they head to turn 3. Kaufman in that heavy lap traffic. Stevie Smith and Frankie Kerr with Kenny Jacobs closing on everybody.
Off turn number 4. Now we get a look at the number 29 of Kenny Jacobs. Jacobs beginning to catch up to the number 77 of Frankie Kerr.
It only took him a couple of laps to close it right up behind Kerr, and Stevie Smith is directly in front of Frankie. So your second, third, and fourth place cars are right there together.
A very fast pace being set here by Keith Kaufman now. There you see the number 19 of Stevie Smith Jr. and now a 29 of Kenny Jacobs beginning to make a move. He'll come right up behind the 77 of Frankie Kerr.
Jacobs went into turn 1 so hard that he almost ran into the 7-up car of Ed Schaefer at 5. Jacobs really going hard into turn 1.
Kenny Jacobs now right behind the number 1 of Roger Moyer Jr. Jacobs, keep your eye on Jacobs.
He appears to be the only car right now making any headway on the speedway. Kaufman leads, Stevie Smith second, Frankie Kerr, and Kenny Jacobs your top 4.
Kaufman, as he goes by our booth and into turn number 1, looks strong, Ken. That car really running strong here at Selinsgrove.
This is one of the best efforts I've seen Keith have here at Selinsgrove right now. Opening up some daylight once again on Stevie Smith with the clear speedway.
Here comes Mifflin Town's Keith Kaufman off turn number 4 as he begins to put a lap on the other number 77 of Brian Nornhold.
Stevie trying to close it up once again, but right now Kaufman gets Nornhold a lap down. That puts a car between himself and Stevie Smith.
We'll watch him as they come off turn number 4 now. Kaufman, your leader. You'll see him on the inside. He nearly hit the inside fence.
Now he's out high as he puts a lap on Tom Warner. Stevie Smith still trying to stay with him, but he can't do it.
It's a long race, and we got a lot of it left yet. We'll see what happens. There's Jacobs as he comes off turn 3 and down the backstretch.
We've got a couple of cars slowing here off of turn 4. Let's see if they can make it into the pit area.
They make it no problem. We continue under green. There you see the 29 of Kenny Jacobs. He's trying to reel in the 77 of Frankie Kerr.
I think Jacobs has actually slowed a little bit because earlier he was really flying by everybody. Now he has sort of slowed his pace, and he's caught Frankie Kerr, but he hasn't passed him yet.
Well, we're seeing the same 5 cars up front tonight. So we're up front, and now the 29 all of a sudden has come to almost a stop here on the front stretch.
Well, that's definite blown motor. You can see the oil on the speedway as he goes by here. If you look down with the camera down front here, you can see the oil in the black part of the speedway.
Right there, you can kind of see it shining. but it doesn't look good for the Waker Livestock number 29, and it's so seldom that you see a Davy Brown engine come apart, Ken.
Well, a tough break. He was running strong, and it was a question of whether or not the tire on the car would last the way he was running. It's not going to matter now. He blew the motor, I'm pretty sure, and he's done. Keith Kaufman, your leader. Stevie Smith second. No change since the early part of this race.
I was saying earlier, Ken, isn't it odd how the same 5 cars that were fast at Williams Grove last night are running up front here again tonight?
15 laps have been completed, John, in the event. Keith Kaufman taking the lead away from Stevie Smith.
We'll be back for more exciting action. Can Kaufman pull the upset here at Selinsgrove Speedway? Well, back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway, my friend and fellow colleague Ken Stahl had to leave us here. He had another commitment and could not stay, so sorry to see Ken not be able to stick it out here with us. We're going back to green flag with Keith Kaufman, your leader, over Stevie Smith. A lot of lap traffic among the leaders now as they shuffle around off turn number 2. Roger Moyer Jr. in there. Everybody so far makes it by no problem. Off turn 4, it's still Keith Kaufman, your leader. Yellow lights are on. The car has come to a stop going into turn 4 along the inside, and it looks like it could be Troy Camp, possibly in the number 14. So it is the 14T of Troy Camp, and we'll be back with the restart. Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway, a little bit of confusion back in the middle of the pack right now. But they're lined up and they're ready to go. And we got green off turn 4 on Keith Kaufman. Some wild scrambling going on. Chuck Reinert almost getting into the fence. They head now down the backstretch. Kaufman continues to lead. He has a good handle on it right now. Kaufman over Stevie Smith. Running third is Frankie Kerr, followed by Lenny Cloudine. And then the number 88 of Kenny Adams. Randy Wolf not running bad here tonight. Joey Allen trying to make a move. He gets by Tom Warner and goes after Kramer Williamson now. Here comes Kaufman by. Stevie Smith, Frankie Kerr, Lenny Cloudine, Kenny Adams, Randy Wolf, and Donnie Craik. Looking for Donnie Kreitz to come on here late in this event. He has moved up somewhat in the field. There you see Randy Wolf and Steve Sigel now. Sigel as he works the outside of Randy Wolf. Off turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Steve Sigel now on the move. Here comes Kaufman by. Keith Kaufman in the Al Hamilton number 77. What a familiar sight. Jim Nace not running well tonight. Looks like that car is really pushing coming out of the turn. He wants off turn number 4. There you see the back of the field now as they exit turn 4. Jim Nace, boy, that car's really acting up. Here comes Keith Kaufman, your leader, and he has a comfortable lead over Stevie Smith. Kaufman may be able to pull it off here tonight. A lot of people don't think that Kaufman is that good here at Selinsgrove. Well, the fact is, he don't run Selinsgrove that much. Port Royal's his track. But he's getting around Selinsgrove real well here tonight. He continues to lap cars at will. There you see the number 3 of Lenny Cloudine and the 88 of Kenny Adams. They battle over that 4th spot off turn 4. Donnie Kreitz continues to ride in that 6th spot. He started 6th. He continues to run 6th. And right here on the front stretch, the ICT number 86 of Kramer Williamson heads to the pit area. That battle continues between Kenny Adams and Lenny Krautheim. Off turn number 4, there you see him on the screen. Adams now gets to turn number 3 first. Kenny Adams now looks like he's got that 5th spot. They got the 4th spot locked up. But Keith Kaufman is actually beginning to pull away from Stevie Smith Jr. now. Frankie Kerr continues to run 3rd. Joey Allen now dropping out. Joey Allen in the number A1, and he's going to bring out a yellow. There's the yellow flag for Joey Allen. Tough break. If the camera will zoom in a little, you can see the dejection in Joey Allen's posture right there. He just sits there, he's just looking straight ahead. Tough break for the youngster out of Hanover. That's a Bobby Allen car with a Kenny Adams hood on it. Not that pretty a race car, but it does, well, it did run. Right now, a problem. Well, Keith Kaufman has been the whole story here tonight. He got around Stevie Smith early in the race, and he's been the powerhouse. We'll be back with the restart. Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway with the 1988 National Open. We have 11 laps to go on Keith Kaufman, your leader. And we just came off of a red fuel stop. We'll see what happens now. Wild action going on as Chuck Reiner gets surrounded by 4 cars using the outside groove. Reiner now up into that top 6 spot. Kaufman though continues to lead. Stevie Smith, Frankie Kerr, and Kenny Adams. Adams now in that 4th spot. Frankie Kerr runs 5th, Chuck Reiner 6th. Lenny Krautheim 7th, and Steve Siegel 8th. Here comes your leader, Keith Kaufman in the Al Hamilton GMC truck and equipment number 77. Into turn number 3. It looks like Stevie is beginning to catch up to Keith Kaufman now. Stevie Smith Jr. coming on now. Kaufman running lower and lower on the speedway. Well, the red flag enabled Jim Nace's crew to do some adjustment on that race car, and it's working a lot better. Kaufman trying to hang on now as Stevie Smith is all over him and ahead of turn 3 and 4. Here comes Stevie Smith now in his most serious effort yet. Kaufman now hanging on. Down the backstretch. Let's watch him this time. Stevie getting into turn number 3 a lot better. They come off turn 4. Keith Kaufman with 5 laps to go. 5 to go on Keith Kaufman. Stevie Smith Jr. continues to run 2nd. Frankie Kerr runs 3rd. But now Kaufman seems to have things back under control again. 4 laps to go. Kaufman now really using the low groove. Coming up now to put One of the back markers a lap down off of turn number 4. He gets around the 6 of Dave Reichert. Frankie Kerr riding along in that 3rd spot. Kenny Adams runs 4th. Donnie Crate's 5th. Here they come now, off turn number 4. Kaufman continues to lead, and he's pulled back away from Stevie Smith Jr. again. Kaufman now looking stronger now, but maybe Stevie Smith is slowing up a little. Stevie may have used up his tires as Frankie Kerr is actually beginning to catch up to Stevie Smith. Off turn 4 now, 2 laps to go, white flag lap. White flag now on Keith Kaufman. 1 more lap to go. Kaufman gets by the number 1 of Roger Moyer Jr. Down the back stretch and into turn number 3. $10,000 and the checkered flag awaits. Off turn number 4, Keith Kaufman, and he picks up the win. Stevie Smith Jr. will take 2nd. Frankie Kerr will finish 3rd. Kenny Adams will take 4th. Donnie Crates will finish in that 5th spot. Finishing 6th is Chuck Reinert. 7th goes to Steve Sigel. 8th goes to Lenny Crowdine. And 9th spot goes to the 97 of Kevin Fry with Randy Wolf. Randy Wolf taking the 10th spot, I believe, over Jim Nace. That's questionable. So, Keith Kaufman. Well, I'm sure that a lot of fans, at least a lot of the Selinsgrove fans, shocked here tonight by Kaufman's performance. Selinsgrove Speedway, not his forte in racetracks, but tonight Kaufman really blistered him here at Selinsgrove in that very familiar red and gold Al Hamilton number 77 car. You almost get a case of deja vu here as Kaufman climbs out of that Al Hamilton car.
Test, 1, 2.
So, Keith Kaufman will go out of here tonight with $10,000. I'm sure he'll have to split some of that money with his car owner, Al Hamilton. But it's got to be a big win for Keith. I'm sure it'll be a memorable one for him. He picked up the track championship at the Port Royal Speedway this year for the 8th time, 8 track championships. That's unbelievable. Comes in here tonight, took the lead from Stevie Smith on lap number 4 and continued to lead the rest of the event. Stevie did catch up to Kaufman with about 5 laps to go, 6 laps to go, something like that. But it wasn't enough. Kaufman, the stronger car, evidently, and he was up for it. So Kaufman and Al Hamilton now celebrating their victory down in the winner's circle with our track announcer, Ted Wrights. The people from Blaze Alexander here to present the awards. So as we fade out of here and get ready to do the street stock feature event, we'll try and listen in on some of the conversation.
Tonight, it really help everybody out. Well, Keith, there was a lot of talk that you may be forced to go to Hagerstown because of aluminum engines and all that stuff, but I think all in all, you and Al wanted to support a track that ran sprint cars basically all year long, and you made a good choice.
Well, I know we made a good choice, and we wanted to come here, and run with you guys, like you said, because you run sprint cars on a weekly deal. But it's a shame the weather had to foul everything up, or everybody could have got to run all the races.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Now, Keith, you got out.
Back in here at the Selinsgrove Speedway for tonight's nightcap, which will be the street stock feature event. Starting on the pole, the number 1M is Jeremy Miller, and alongside him in car number 30, your Selinsgrove Speedway track champion, a big welcome back to Warren Campbell. Starting in that 3rd spot will be the number 33 of Mike Kratzer, and starting 4th in car number 88 will be Ed Miller. Starting in that 5th spot will be the 61T of Kenny Trevitz, And starting 6th in car number 81 will be Greg Whitcomb. Starting 7th in car number 28 will be Steve Rico, I believe it is. And starting in that 8th spot will be the number 8 of Jerry Zeinert. Starting 9th in car number 21I will be Jerry Inch. And starting 10th in car number 26 will be Rick Straub. Starting 11th is Steve Zeiters. 12th is the 77 of Jeff Graby. Then it's the 45 of Ralph Cramden, the 4S rather, the 99 of Junior Catherman. Tony Sponenberg, Doug Brown, Travis Hollenbach, and Scott Barris. We got a yellow on the speedway, so it's a no-go, false start. We have Randy Whitmer in car number 7 and Wayne Cochran rounding out the field. So our starting lineup, 22 starters, 10 laps the distance or 30 minutes, whichever which would expire first. And we'll be back with take 2 in tonight's Street Stock feature event. Well, hopefully this time we'll be all lined up as they come off of turn number 4. We can get a good waving green flag from our starter, Charlie Page. Well, the green flag's waving, but I think we're going to get a yellow, which I would almost bet on it. Jeremy Miller out in front. But the yellow is already back on. Oh, another false start situation. Looks like Jeremy Miller, for some reason, doesn't want Warren Campbell to start with him. They're supposed to be side by side. We'll come back and try it one more time. Well, we'll give her one more shot here as we watch the field down in turn number 3. Jeremy Miller and Warren Campbell are to be setting the pace. Mike Kratzer, and he's matched up with Ed Miller in that second row. Well, Jeremy Miller, after 3 tries, still gets the jump and will be your leader off turn 4 as the green flag waves. Off turn number 2, it's Jeremy Miller. Look at this action in the middle of the backstretch. The sparks are flying. Whoa! And Ralph Cramden gets tagged. More cars piling in. Oh, we saw at least 4 cars over there involved. 5 cars make it. It all started with Jerry Inch and the number 26 of Rick Straub. They got together. Jerry Inch got into the inside fence. Ralph Cramden in the 4S got tagged heavily, I believe. But he may have actually pulled away already, so trouble in turn number 3 as we still have 3 or 4 cars sitting over there. We'll be back with the restart. Well, back in here once again with the Street Stock feature event, and they've used up quite a bit of their allotted 30 minutes here. Had the 2 false starts and a multi-car crash here in turn number 3. So we're going to do it all over again. Jeremy Miller once again jumps into the lead. Warren Campbell and Mike Kratzer battle for second. Jeremy Miller, your leader. Warren Campbell rides second, followed by Mike Kratzer and Kenny Trevitz. Ed Miller runs in that 5th spot. We'll see what happens off turn number 4. It's still Jeremy Miller. And once again, the yellow lights are on. And I believe Steve Zeiters in car number 66 getting turned the wrong way, but he's back underway. So we shouldn't be under yellow here very long. And as Zeiters quickly catches the back of the pack. Jeremy Miller, your leader. Warren Campbell, who's been doing quite a bit of asphalt racing at the Evergreen Speedway. located up on Interstate 80. So Campbell branching out here, trying something a little different. He's back here tonight on dirt. I talked to him earlier. Said it's quite a different deal on asphalt. Less forgiving. Sometimes the dirt isn't very forgiving either, as Rick Straub will attest to. There you see a little bit of sheet metal damage on the 66 of Steve Zeiders. We're back over here on turns 1 and 2 now and set to go. Jeremy Miller, your leader, over Warren Campbell. Hopefully we can get going green flag here and get some laps completed, as they do run under a 30-minute time limit here at Selinsgrove. Charlie Page waves the green flag, and we're back underway. Jeremy Miller looks to be the class of the field here so far. Warren Campbell runs second, Mike Kratzer third. Kenny Trevitz runs in that fourth spot. Ed Miller in that beautifully prepared number 88 runs fourth right now. Make that fifth as they head to turn number 3. So the Selinsgrove locals, including Jeremy Miller here, who runs here quite a bit. Setting the pace as we watch him off turn number 2, Kenny Trevitz and Ed Miller running side by side, and then down the backstretch into turn number 3. Ed Miller moves up into that fourth spot now, dropping Kenny Trevitz back to fifth. Our second, third, fourth, and fifth place cars all running about the same speed there. Not much battling going on as of yet. Jeremy Miller continues to lead. Warren Campbell as they come to the flag stand. We're getting a look at the back of the pack now off of turn number 4. Camera wide angles will pick up our leader, Jeremy Miller, up in turns 3 and 4. There you see him on the screen. Off turn number 4. He is really hooked up here tonight. Miller cranking on that number 1M. First time I ever seen this youngster race was at the Lincoln Speedway. He's also a heavy campaigner, I believe, down at the Susquehanna Speedway. Now Warren Campbell seems to be slowing up a little bit as Mike Kratzer's all over him. But Campbell trying to hang on. Mike Kratzer right there battling off turn 4 or off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Yeah, Campbell may have burnt the tires off that number 30 car. Off turn 4, though, he still runs second. But he's got Ed Miller now. Ed Miller moves up to third. And Ed Miller will now go after Campbell. Jim Yoder in the number 27 now getting into the picture. Yoder, the winner here the last time that the Street Stocks raced. That was back on September the 11th. Good battle here for that second spot. Ed Miller trying to find a way around Warren Campbell as they come off turn 2 now. Down the backstretch. Campbell, who seemed to slow there momentarily, now seems to have the handle on it again. But Jeremy Miller really in the hot seat. He's way out in front now in that number 1M. There you see second, third, fourth, and fifth place as they come off of turn number 2. Jeremy Miller way up in turn number 3 and 4 already. He slips around some lap traffic. 5 laps to go on Jeremy Miller. Anything can happen. Ed Miller. There you see Jim Yoder, and he is all of a sudden slowed down, and he's going to come to a stop in turn number 3. Well, tough break for Jim Yoder. He'll be a spectator here, probably. Jeremy Miller will see a big lead be erased by virtue of the yellow. And we'll see if Warren Campbell can do anything to keep Ed Miller off of his back bumper. We'll be back with the restart. Well, we're back in here for the resumption of this street stock feature event. We got Jeremy Miller out in front. We got 2 lap cars between Miller and our second place man, Warren Campbell. And boy, Jeremy Miller gets a real great start here. Miller off of turn number 4 with about a 6-7 car length lead over Warren Campbell, and Campbell has his hands full. Into turn number 1. When he gets the door shut on Ed Miller, Campbell hangs on to that second spot. Ed Miller was right up alongside of him as they came to the flag stand. They raced to turn number 3. About 7 car length up is our leader, Jeremy Miller, and we got a yellow here for a car which come to a stop off turn 4. Cannot pick up the number. We want to take this opportunity to thank Tim Smith of Blaine, Pennsylvania. Last winter we talked to Tim, and he had been doing some private taping here from the booth, which he constructed here at Selinsgrove, and Tim was nice enough to let us come out here this year and use his booth, which saved us from building one. And we just want to take this opportunity to thank Tim Smith of Blaine, Pennsylvania. That's the father of Jeff Smith, who races here regularly. And Tim, a super guy, a super family from Blaine, Pennsylvania. We want to thank them for allowing us to use this video booth all season. So for now, we'll take a break, and we'll come back with the restart of this street stock feature event. Well, back in here once again at the Selinsgrove Speedway with the continuation of this street stock feature event. We are under 5 laps to go and very quickly approaching the midnight hour here, as it is now 11:40, according to the trusty old Timex. Off turn number 4, we'll go racing once again with Jeremy Miller. Ed Miller looks like he may be in trouble. Ed, he's losing ground quickly here. The number 8B of Doug Brown and the number 66 of Steve Zeider's getting by, along with Mike Kratzer. Off turn 4, Jeremy Miller continues to lead as he has for the last 7 laps. Oh, they're going 3 wide in turn 2. Oh, Ed Miller now, all of a sudden, he's got that car back in gear again. And just that quickly, he gets by Doug Brown and Steve Zeiders. They come off turn number 4 now with 2 laps to go on Jeremy Miller. Oh, look out right here on the turn number 1. Big time wreck. Car number 81 gets upside down. A lot of fuel dumping out of that car. Get the camera to zoom in there on that quarter panel. And the fuel is just pouring out of the number 81 car. Greg Whitecomb got T-boned. Steve Zeider's involved, but he once again drives away unscathed here. So fortunately, no sparks associated there with that crash, because the fuel was just pouring out. And we could have an official finish here, really. I wouldn't be surprised. We could go official finish here real quickly, probably. we'll have to wait and see what is decided by the officials, but Greg Whitecomb took a nasty street stock crash here. Well, that's going to be a lengthy delay here. They got fuel all over the first turn area and a car upside down. It looks like Greg is being attended to here. And he is down on the speedway there, and they're taking a look at Greg, and hopefully he isn't seriously hurt. The car did get into the fence backwards and side over side a couple of times. There you see Steve Zeiders, who is still comfortably inside his race car and sitting over on the backstretch. So he's been in a couple of scrapes here tonight, but he's somehow or other survived. We'll be back with either the restart or the checkered flag. Well, we're back in here, and we're going to go green flag racing once again. And I thought possibly, due to the extended time here, we may get a checkered, but we're going to finish it up. We've only got a couple laps left. Jeremy Miller, Warren Campbell, and now Kenny Trevitz is up into that third spot. Well, Jeremy Miller just not easily pulls away from Warren Campbell and Kenny Trevitz. So Jeremy Miller really hooked up here tonight, looking for the white flag this time from starter Charlie Page. Campbell continues to ride second, Kenny Trevitz third, Ed Miller runs fourth, Mike Kratzer fifth, and Jim Yoder runs sixth. Off turn number 4, checkered flag in the hand of Charlie Page, and there it is. Jeremy Miller will pick up the win. Warren Campbell takes second. I think Kenny Trevitz finished third. Ed Miller would have been fourth, followed by Mike Kratzer in fifth. I'll tell you what, the battle was really close between Kenny Trevitz and Ed Miller. Those two were almost a photo finish. Could have been the other way. I was only looking from my vantage point here, so we'll let the scorers worry about that situation. We're positive that that's your winner right there, Jeremy Miller, as he led the whole deal and come in tonight a winner in the number 1M. Jeremy Miller, a youngster that's had a great street stock career so far, picks up the win here on National Open night at the Selinsgrove Speedway. Warren Campbell does a nice job and rolls in here second, beating out Kenny Trevitz and Ed Miller. Trevitz and Campbell about a 1 or 2 point difference for the track championship between those two drivers, with Campbell coming out on top. Both drivers had their share of bad luck and good luck this season, but Campbell just happened to be there at the right time and picked up the track championship. Jeremy Miller in the winner's circle though tonight. He crawls from that number 1M. He's just a young kid. I don't even know if he's out of his teens yet. He's really started racing, I think, down at the Lincoln Speedway. Ted Wright's down there conducting the winner's circle interview right now. It's been a very exciting night here at Selinsgrove Speedway, as it always is. Keith Kaufman picking up the $10,000 National Open, with Stevie Smith Jr. finishing second. Jeremy Miller, of course, your winner in the street stocks tonight. Ken Stahl with us most of the evening, but could not stick around for the street stock feature or the end of the sprint car feature. He had another commitment, but took him away from us here. But for Ken Stahl and Patty Strasser, our number 1 camera person, I'm Johnny Strasser for the Strasser video crew saying so long from the Selinsgrove Speedway.